What's up guys, welcome back to another Kengan video. Today we have a new Kengan Annihilation tournament bracket that I set up. So I put everyone in different starting places than what they were in the original Kengan Annihilation tournament. So I plan to do this much more if you enjoy this video. So let me know down in the comments if you enjoy. And I'll probably switch around the brackets for later ones as well. Let me know who you think is going to win now. We kind of assume that, our beard will win, but who do you think will make it near the end this time if the bracket is switched around a bit different? So let me know. I tried to make it as different as possible where opponents wouldn't go up, fight opponents very early on who they fought in the original Annihilation tournament. And I'm recording this pretty much live, so no cut, so I may say some things that aren't very accurate. So yep, if you're new here and enjoy Kengan content, make sure to subscribe, join the Discord, link is in the description, and let's go. So first up in round one we have I can't even speak, but we have Adam Dudley versus Ray. So Adam, he has pretty decent power. He kind of decent durability. He was defeated by Cosmo in the original Annihilation tournament through a submission, but Ray, he has decent power and his speed is absolutely insane. So if these two were to combat in the first round, Ray may take probably 0 damage. So I'm going to put Ray into the next round with relative ease. The next battle we have Kanagito versus Robinson. This fight will probably be pretty similar to how the Kure Rayan and Robinson fight went, with it starting off kind of equal, but then once Kanagito gets amped up, ready for battle, he'll most likely stomp Robinson with his superior in every way. Honestly, that's how I see that fight really turning out. So there's not really much of a competition. So Kanagito moves on to the next round. Hanafusa versus Soawa. Hanafusa has that speed, has the poison. I'm not going to consider him going for the kill in this like he did in Bando. So it's just going to be trying to win the match. He may go for the kill, but it's not his life mission to do that one kill. But with that, so didn't really show anything of promise. Rito could probably beat her at this point, or him, whatever it is. And there you go. So I'm gonna give Hanafusa the win for that battle. Canada versus Hatsumi said, as we know, Canada kind of finessed Galang, almost got a little hold on him during his match, but initially was defeated, and Hatsumi Sen is a new breed and will be able to stomp Canada quite easily. So he's moving on to the next round with relative ease as well. Hanafusa may have taken a little bit of damage, but so far most of these fighters are in pretty good condition going on to the next round. We have Sugabahashi versus the almighty big Kuroki Gensai. This will be an interesting fight for Kuroki Gensai, and it may drain his stamina quite a bit more than what he did during the initial Annihilation tournament, but he probably won't take any real damage due to his ultimate defense, being able to parry and just deflect blows quite easily. And Sugabahashi not really having some insane damage based technique will eventually fall, but it'll drain Kuroki Gensai's stamina quite a bit in the first round. But I'm going to give the win to Kuroki Gensai, of course. No questions about that, I hope. We have Kure versus Bando, another interesting fight. Many of these fights could be done into a what if battle, so if you see an interesting fight that you want me to go into more detail on, just let me know down in the comments, because many of these fights will be very interesting to do in a what if battle one day. So Kure versus Bando, another interesting fight. Bando a bit crazy, has all these freak abilities, his genetics are crazy, and Kure 100% removal. Based on how Hatsumi Sen defeated Bando, I think Kure will be able to do something similar with probably his superior strength and this insanity of removal that would give him. So he may take some damage, not very much, about 30 to 40% damage during this fight, but I'm going to give the win to our boy Kure here. Mutaba versus Inuyaba, or Hair Dude. I think his name's Inuyaba, something like that, but it's the long hair dude. Muta will slay this beast like he did against Meguro during the original Annihilation tournament quite easily. Won't take really any damage. We got Kono, Weave, Fat Man Kono versus Wakatsuki. It's very clear that Wakatsuki will win this. He has superior strength, more drive, superior technique, and just an all-around better fighter. And I kind of messed up here. These two will be fighting again, but I think that's the only thing that I messed up for this. But oh well, we'll see what happens there. On to the other side of the bracket. So we have Cosmo versus Nikado Ren. Another interesting fight. Nikado Ren taking out. He does have a very devastating ultimate technique that may be able to one-shot Cosmo, but as a whole, I think if Cosmo goes into that zone, is able to dodge and pull off a strangle quite easily, you'll give him the win with about a little bit of damage. Not as much as he would have gotten against Akora or Adam Dudley, but he'll still be able to take a little bit of damage. Okubo versus Nezu, I believe his name was. Okubo, we had to stomp this guy pretty easy. He was pretty much one-shotted by Ray, pretty trash. We don't really see anything of his worth, so with that alone, I think Okubo will be able to win this fight quite easily. Pang versus Akora, another interesting fight that I can't really think of a direct 100% confirmed winner of this, so this may be a what-if battle one day, but let's have a look. So it's Annihilation time span, so at this point Akora is cheating, so that's good to know. Cheating versus Pang. But if you think about it, how will Akora even be able to defeat Pang? Because Pang, absolute tank of a man. You have to think how Ray was able to defeat him. I don't think Akora will be able to pull off anything along those lines, and this his insane durability may push Pang over the edge. So for somehow, I'm going to give Pang and win with extreme high difficulty with like 90% damage, which will play part in the next round. We have Meguro versus Gao Lang. I'm going to give the win to Gao Lang with not really much damage. Gao Lang a lot better fighter. Meguro just a crazy sadistic man. Is going to get stomped. Not going to die this time, but he's going to get stomped by Gao Lang. So pretty much full health Gao Lang versus a very weak Pang in the next round for that. We got Oma versus the copy guy. Oma may have some trouble at first, but the copy guy is kind of trash. This doesn't even have his own technique. So with that alone, you can't really expect him to do that much, honestly. Let's drink some water, to, refresh that energy and stuff like that. So, the masked man guy, not very that good, pretty trash, taken out by Hatsumi Sen with like one little free strike blow in the original. Oma will be able to take him out quite easily. He probably won't even need to use his advance in that battle. We have Gozo and the Fisherman. Gozo is stated to be a super athlete. His fight against Wakasugi in the manga, even though he lost, was much better than what it was in anime, not just him getting one punch in like the first second. The Fisherman dude, Kono? Is that his name? I forgot the Fisherman dude name. It starts with K, I know that. Whatever his name is, he went against Pang, had kind of okay, not the best fighter, honestly. Probably this one, I'm going to give it to the Fisherman because Gozo is kind of a jobber. He does have some athletic ability, but still, fighting wise, I don't really think he's this. But he does have a pretty good Kengan record, but I think the Fisherman has more want to win during this battle, which may push him over the edge. Another interesting fight here, two of the big muscle Chad boys. We got the Kyouzan, the sumo wrestler, versus our boy Julius, the Chad steroided up muscle house. So this fight, will start off with probably a muscle house because the sumo doesn't really have any other tactical techniques, more this brute force based with his sumo style and open palm fighting style. So with that, I'll give Julius a bit of damage, but he'll make it to the next round quite convincingly. Ryuto versus Satuna, with that, can't even speak again, with the, activate windows here, gotta love that. So Ryuto versus Kiryu. Kiryu will stomp Ryuto quite easily during this time span, so not really questioning that. On to the next side, so Ray versus Kanogito, an interesting fight. Ray will probably enter, or need to enter, almighty simp mode for this battle to occur. Kanogito probably take a lot of damage during this fight, much more than probably what he did in the first couple of rounds initially, but I think the winner will probably be Kanogito quite easily. Or not quite easily, about a 60% difficulty. Didn't really take, so he's about 70% injured currently, but based on his insane stamina, it won't be that hard, but Kanogito will most likely win that. Hanavusa versus Hatsumi Sen. Hatsumi Sen will win this pretty convincingly, in my opinion. Won't be too much of a troubled fight for him, in my opinion. I just realized the next battle is another one that we actually initially saw. It was kind of hard to mix around. I could have probably worked better. I'll probably do this next time to make sure you don't get any reoccurrences in battles, but whatever, that's how it's going to be. Almighty Beers versus Kurein, another interesting fight, but this was Kuroki Kurein. Yeah, Kurein versus Kuroki Genso, with Kuroki Genso's overwhelming experience and technique, and how Rain was fighting during this time in the Annihilation tournament will most likely end in Kuro Raien's defeat pretty easily. Kuroki Gensai much smarter, much more tactical, will be able to outmaneuver him and probably won't take very much damage at all. The 100% removal may surprise Kuroki Gensai and lead some damage on him with his overwhelming power, but still with that alone, I don't think there'll be too much trouble for Kuroki Gensai to be able to win this fight with relative ease, not taking much damage, and the fight will be most likely very quick. We've got an initial fight from the normal Annihilation tournament, so yep, I'll give the win to our boy, what's going on here, Wakatsuki. Muto will probably drop out because he can't get through those thick muscles, and this Wakatsuki is a lot more healthy than what he initially was during the regular tournament, as he doesn't have to face Julius here, so that's good to note. Cosmo versus Okibo, that is actually a planned what if battle that I'm going to be doing, so for now I'm just going to give the win to Cosmo, but it could go either way for this, and I'm going to be doing a full what if battle on these two fighting in the near future, so stay tuned for that. Very injured Sorpang, as I mentioned, in his fight against Sakura versus a pretty much full health Gaolang, and I think by the end of this fight, Sorpang will be probably gassed out of stamina and endurance. That will give Gaolang the win quite convincingly with a lot of stamina remaining. Fisherman versus Takita Oma. Fisherman will take some hits on Oma, but initially Oma may unlock the Nico style here, but he may not unlock the full memories back during this fight, as he won't take that much damage. So Oma will be able to go to the next round with relative ease. Won't be severely broken at this point yet, as he doesn't have to go for these massive rampage of a fight against our boy Kuro Raien. This will be a very interesting. So we have our boy Kiryu versus Julius. Julius absolute tank, both of them about in 100% condition. I'll say Julius is about 90% condition based on his previous fight against the sumo dude. So if these two, Kiryu will probably need to land 5 of the Rakashasha's palms on him to even make him fall on his knee once, because how much of a tank Julius is. And with Julius' overwhelming power, and this is how he could probably crush Setsuna with one pretty much half hit blow, I'm going to give Julius the win, but he may take a lot of Rakashasha's palms, which will lead him to about 80% damage from the Rakashasha palms, as they do quite a bit of damage, and just based on how fast Kiryu is, it will lead a lot of damage done to Julius, which will come into factor in the later rounds, but Kiryu will be defeated in this. Onto the semi-finals. So as we know, Kanagito probably may have evolved once in this time frame, as he would have probably evolved against Ray, but that's about all. Not really as much as he would have against Gaolang or something like that, but with this I think he'll be able to defeat Hatsumi-sen like he did in the initial tournament, so that's good to note. So Kuroki Gensai versus a pretty much full health, maybe a little bit injured Wakatsuki against Mutawa. Mutawa may try a little bit more during this fight to damage him down or something, but I think Kuroki Gensai will take a lot of damage during this fight, and Wakatsuki will take extreme amount of damage, but I think Kuroki Gensai will be able to pull this off with about a 70% victory or damage to get that victory, which will lead him in pretty damaged condition about the end of the Annihilation tournament condition. This is where Kuroki Gensai will be sitting now, going into the semi-final, which will be very interesting to see what happens later on. So keep watching, stay tuned to see what happens later on. But a very injured Kuroki Gensai now going to the semi-finals. Cosmo, who will be quite injured against his Okibo fight, about 90%, so about 10% left. Gaolang still in pretty good condition, as he went against Meguro, stumped him quite easily. A very injured Sorpang probably won that quite easily. So I'm going to give the win just based on how much stamina is remaining to a Gaolang and what's left in the tank. Julius, who's in extreme condition based on all the Rakashasha palms that was landing, and Oma, which is in pretty good condition. Julius will be able to land a couple of blows, which will probably reawaken the Nico style or his memories. It won't be the same way it happened with Rain with him this on the ground. It'll probably reawaken mid-fight, so that will lead to Oma reawakening, and it'll be a similar fight to how Oma defeated Wakatsuki in the initial Annihilation tournament, but he will take some damage. So it'll be about 50% damage, apart from his fact that he's already dying, but I think I'll be able to win against a fully injured, destroyed, Rakashasha palmed up Julius. The semi-final, as we know, Kanagito, he's in better condition, but he hasn't evolved as much during this, and he most likely wouldn't have had to fight against the other Fangametsudo to hold his spot. So he'd be in better condition, but he's not as strong as he would be in the initial Annihilation tournament against Beard, who is quite injured. But I still think Beard will be able to win this with about 95% difficulty based on all his injuries, and go into the grand final. Beard will be able to make there with like extreme injuries and be like on the brink of losing this fight at this point, but he'll be able to pull off the dub, and it'll be probably even better of a fight just based on how much Kanagito is injured compared to how Kanagito will be injured during the initial. But it'll be a very extremely close fight, but I think Almighty Beard Kuroki so we have to take the dub for this one as well. Down to another going to be insane fight. We have Oma versus Galang. This will lead to fully memory returned Nico style Oma with advance going all out for the win against Galang. This will be about an 80% to 85% difficulty fight with Galang, all those blows, landing a lot of blows, just going full out with Oma going full out. But with the insanity and the large variety that the Nico style can offer, it'll lead to Galang using his multi boxing combination. But initially, with how variety and how much the fight can go either way with the Nico style, and how it can easily just take out a much stronger, much more healthy opponent, is how insane the Nico style is. I think Oma will be able to win this with about an 85% difficulty, alongside he's already dying and everything else. So we got the same, fight that we would have got in the Annihilation tournament, but this time Oma is in better condition than what he was in the initial, but he isn't that far behind than what he was, as his fight against Galang and Jules did take a toll on his body, and he is about close to where he was during the initial, but not as damaged as he was against Kuroki Gensai, who's in a far worse condition than what he was, based on his fight against Kuro Rain and Wakasuki, who are absolute monsters as well, alongside Kanagito, giving him a very tough battle. So the final fight, I'm going to give the initial win to Kuroki Gensai with about 99% difficulty, pretty much on the brink of death. Oma will lose and the same ending will most likely happen, but Kuroki Gensai have a much tighter battle. He probably have to lose both hands destroyed, both legs destroyed, about 99% difficulty win at this stage based on all the previous damage for our boy Kuroki Gensai to win this battle. So here you go. Here's a new Annihilation tournament. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts on the battles. Do you think I made a mistake for any of the battles? Let me know some what if battles to cover in depth if you saw any cool ones for me to cover. And that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Peace.